Okay, anyways. Last session, it was actually a demo class we have yesterday. Demo class. So whatever I have discussed in the demo class, I just will share that content once, and that whatever the things that I have come up in my fundamentals of database. Fundamentals of database, whatever I discuss, those things I'll get first will highlight, and then we will go to our today's session. Okay. Yes, I've shared my screen. Is my desktop shared with you now?
Pardon, sir?
Is my desktop shared with you?
Yes, yes, I could see this.
You can see the screen of paintbrush.
Yes, yes, I could see the diagram that we have discussed yesterday.
Exactly. Acha, acha. Yesterday you attended the session.
Yes, yes.
Oh, is it so? Okay, fine. Okay, that's fine then. Okay, anyways, last session, these were the things that we have discussed, like about data organization, that is with file system and database, two approaches. File system, that is called flat file. Databases of two types, OLTP and OLAP. Online transaction processing, online analytical processing. File system, we are going to, I said, like we implement in two ways, using built-in applications and programming languages. And drawbacks I listed of file system: no security, cannot avoid redundancy, data inconsistency issues, difficulty in accessing required data. And I said we can frame a still big list of drawbacks. Then database, what is it? Types of database, what is called database, what are objects in database, what is DBMS, types of DBMS, all these things we have discussed in my last session. Today we are going to go with our next topic, where from our subject begins. So here we are going to learn introduction to Rdbms. Yes. So whatever I make the points here, every point will be important for our Oracle. Introduction to Rdbms, that is called a relational database management systems. Okay. Yes. Now, before I start, make this point very clear. Connecting with Rdbms, there are hundreds of things to study, hundreds of things. So, but what I do, instead of going with all those and getting confused, I just try to make most important points of this topic. Even if you're clear with that, it's more than enough to even answer any query connecting with Rdbms. So I've made this introduction quite simple and easy to remember, so that there will not be any confusion. And all basic any interview queries on this topic, easily you can answer them. So let's not make things complex, especially on this introduction part, since this is very much needed for us in Oracle. Okay, so let's make them. First point. First point. Here I expand Rdbms, which is expanded as R plus DBMS. R plus DBMS. Now let's see first the complete study about R. What is R? So you can describe your R referring in this way. Yes, R is technically stands for referential, and it is integrity constraint. Referential is what? Integrity constraint. Referential integrity constraint. And coming classes, when we are into Oracle, we have a topic to study called constraints. We have a topic. So in that topic, we'll discuss detail about this referential. And what for referential is used? Answer. Referential is used for creating relationships. Relationships. Referential is for creating what? Relationships. And when I say relationships, this is classified into three types. This is one relationship. This is one more relationship. This is one more relationship. Third one. So it's like now we have three relationships. What are they? So it's referred as now one to one. Second, we have one to many. And third, we have many to many. Three relationships. One to one, one to many, many to many. Three. And in that, one to one and one to many, these two. One to one and one to many. And what we find is these two we have for direct implementation. And many to many we have indirect implementation. Many to many. Indirect implementation. One to one to many we have for direct, and many to many we have for indirect implementation. Okay, this is one first point that to remember about this Rdbms. Okay, going further, now we will discuss second important point on this introduction. Yes, now I say here, remember Rdbms was introduced in the year 1970 by Dr. E.F. Codd. He was the he is the one who introduced what? Rdbms. And what did he do is and outlined 12 rules called Codd's rules. What are they called? Codd's rules. Right? Earlier, when Rdbms was introduced, it was 12 rules, but very recently one more rule is also added. that you can call as 13th rule. One more rule is also added. So later, when we study this topic in my coming classes, at that time we will discuss what are those rules. So RDBMS was introduced in the year what? 1970 by Dr. E.F. Cord. Okay, and another interesting thing is another interesting thing is uh, what he has said is among these 12 rules, any database software satisfies 8 or 8.5 rules, then it is considered as pure RDBMS. Yes. So RDBMS was introduced in the year what? 1970. Okay, by Dr. E.F. Cord. And he has outlined what now? 12 rules. And the 12 rules are called what now? Cord's rules. And what is that we have again in it? Among these 12 rules, if software, any database software satisfies 8 or 8.5 rules, then you can consider it as pure RDBMS. Now let's talk on this. Oracle, out of 12, it satisfies 11.5 Cord's rules. Oracle satisfies 11.5 Cord's rules. So since it is more than 8, pure RDBMS. Pure RDBMS. Plus one more. If you talk about SQL Server, which is your Microsoft product, if you talk about SQL Server, even it satisfies more than 8 rules. So that is 10 rules SQL Server will satisfy among 12, more than 8. So it is also pure RDBMS. Oracle satisfies 11.5 Cord's rule. SQL Server, which is a product of Microsoft, will satisfy around 10 Cord's rules. So like that, every RDBMS satisfies more than 8 Cord's rules, except one, that is MS Access. MS Access satisfies only 6 Cord's rules. That is the reason it is the only one which is your partial or semi RDBMS. It is the one which is your partial or semi RDBMS. Okay, that is second point. Right now, coming to third rule that we study is RDBMS always presents data in two-dimensional format. That is, data is presented in rows and columns. That is nothing but called table format. Table format. RDBMS always presents data in what? Two-dimensional format. That is nothing but presenting data in what? Rows and columns. That is nothing but called what? Table format. Table format. And what are they? Now we refer. Columns you call as fields, attributes. Oracle terminologies identifiers. In Oracle, columns are called identifiers. Now, second term, that is called rows. Rows are called records. and tuples. Then table is called object or entity or relation. Table is called object or entity or relation. Right? Now, this is the presentation of data in RDBMS. Always in what? Two-dimensional format. Okay. Now, exactly same way, going further, if you see RDBMS always represents data in normalized way that will indirectly lead to normalization. Yes, this will be again the most important topic that we will discuss after learning constraints topic in Oracle, normalization. And you can normalize a table in different ways. A table can be normalized in different ways, often called normal forms, and we call them 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, BCNF, 4NF, 5NF. First normal form, second normal form, third normal form. This is called Boyce Codd normal form, BOYCE. This is Boyce Codd normal form. Then 4NF, then 5NF. And each normal form has some set of rules. First normal form has 2 rules. Second normal form has 2 rules. BCNF has 3 rules. Fourth normal form has some rules. Fifth normal form has some set of rules. Every normal form is provided with what? Set of rules. And on the basis of those rules only, we are going to make our normalization work for our database. That would be actually, if you go to normalization, you could very clearly see that it is all about what? Design part, design. Before implementing, designing to be done of database. And in that designing, you could very clearly see how we are going to achieve the concepts of normalization. And then once this normalization things are described on database, then you can implement it. Okay. Yes, these are the 4 important points on introduction to RDBMS. If you at least remember these 4 points, it's more than enough to answer many queries, even in interviews, over the introduction or related with what? RDBMS. Okay. Now going further, now what we study. Now going further, what we study, one more part of this RDBMS, that which you call as, better I write here, and it is called components of RDBMS. Components of RDBMS. Now, make this point very clear. Under components of RDBMS, one, data is stored always in rows and columns at one or more tables. Data is stored always in the form of what? Rows and columns at one or more tables. Any table you take and any RDBMS software you take, whether it is Oracle or it is SQL Server or it is DB2 or it is Sybase or it is any other database software. And you could very clearly see that always data is uh, provided in the form of what? Rows and columns. Whether it is one table or it is 100 tables, that doesn't matter. It is always that you have data presented in what? Rows and columns, right? That is one approach. Second rule that we have is, second rule, what we have is, we are going to learn about set of operators are applied on one or more tables, nothing but called relations, always produces new table for output. Yes, always what I said, produces new table, for what? Output. So this will be again a major topic that we are going to study even in Oracle. And we have lots of operators to discuss it. Lots of operators. Set of operators, I said. Set of operators. Okay, and we got a big list of operators in Oracle. Big list. And those operators, where you are going to apply them, whether you apply it on one table or you apply it on multiple tables. That's up to your operator, that what we implement based on that. You decide. So set of operators, where do you apply? On one or more tables. And because of applying them, what will happen? Always a new table is produced. Always a new table is produced. That is what we have an advantage of going with the what operators that we are going to apply. Okay, another important thing, another important thing is especially when you talk about this RD component in RDBMS, always you find what we find is data accuracy in RDBMS is achieved with what? Data consistency and data integrity. Yes, last two are important. Data accuracy means accurate data in RDBMS we are going to achieve with what topics I said? Data consistency and data integrity. Two topics. Okay, so definitely we require to know, or we require to learn quite more in detail about what is data consistency and what is data integrity. What is data consistency and what is data integrity. Okay. Now, this is the introduction part of your what? RDBMS. These are the important points that you have to remember towards the introduction part of RDBMS. Okay, is everything clear on this topic of introduction to Rdbms? Ram, you have any questions? Nayakar, is everything fine? Did you understand all this stuff what we have studied now? Yes, yes, sir. Ram, do you have any questions? No, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are going to study. Yes, 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 we are going to study. Somewhere in the middle of Oracle, after constraints topic, I'll get back to you on that. Mostly used three forms in real time. Mostly used. It should be quite very clear on 1NF, 2NF, and 3NF. These are the three normal forms that are mostly used, and that is not our actually job. It will be done by architect, database architect, who will be responsible for that, database architect. So he will take care of that normalization part and all. He is the one who is going to design constraints. He is the one who is going to define tables. And as an Oracle developer, our job is only to you just use whatever if you is only to implement of whatever the design part we have. Yeah. Yesterday's session was basics to database. Today's session, we started our subject. We have entered into the introduction of what? Rdbms. Okay. Mm, so tomorrow's class, before I begin with Oracle, introduction to Oracle, we will first see what is the database implementation life cycle. That part we will discuss. So we have few things quite go in detail of this topic. So it's better we study in next class. So the total class we can discuss on this part. What is it? Database implementation life cycle. This part. So I'll write here database life cycle. Now in this I'm going to discuss three phases or three stages of your database: designing stage, development stage, production stage. Designing, development, production. Three things. So designing, who will be responsible? Development, what are the things responsible? Production, what are the things responsible? Once I complete this part, then we will get into Oracle. Possible. Once I complete this topic, tomorrow's class itself, we'll see that we'll come up with the introduction of even Oracle. Introduction of a parameter. Okay, that's it. So we'll stop this session here. Tomorrow's class we'll continue with this topic. Okay, Ram. Okay, Nayakar. That's fine. Okay. So because of these demo classes, we are actually what do you say, winding up, and we are even starting session little late. We'll see that once you know this batch is set, we will start the class exactly at 9 and we'll wind up at 10. So a lot given time is 9 to 10. Demos is for actually for you people only. And for me, I'm done with my second session actually. I'm done. From my side, today was the second session. For you people, it is demo. But for me, yesterday was my first session. Today is my second session. We'll go continuously. We'll go regular. There is no again separate time to start the batch, or we don't have any separate thing to start. We are continuing with this. Okay, so fine. Bye. See you tomorrow.